Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I wanted to talk about the square and opposition of Mars and Saturn in the composite chart or the Davison relationship chart. This aspect is often talked about so negatively in the texts. On composite charts, they basically say if you have this aspect in your composite chart, well, just go and F yourself because it's never going to happen. Um, and I don't like to subscribe to those kind of beliefs, although it is a pretty difficult aspect to deal with. I don't believe it's insurmountable. I actually have it in many of personal relationships composite charts that I've had to deal with people I have to deal with for my whole life. Actually, I have the square with both my parents and my son, and I have another long-term relationship of mine where we're still friends to this day and we have the opposition. And then I've also had the inconjunct or the quincunx in a few relationships, and that I think actually is the most difficult, but I'll talk about that one in a separate video. But yeah, I think one of the reasons why I've been forced to deal with this aspect in the composite chart is because in my own natal chart I have Mars in conjunct to Saturn or quincunx to Saturn. So I think if you already have a natal Mars Saturn aspect, just the mathematics of it, it sets it up in the composite chart with certain people, or it seems to be that way. So what you'll find with this aspect is that you get in each other's way a lot. And it can feel like when you are in their presence that you are thwarted or blocked or restrained in your outward action. What it actually can show too is like your primal, like Mars energy is not so easily expressed. And so what it can end up doing is making you a bit self-conscious, like you're not as instinctively responding. Like, in those relationships where like you're just so comfortable that you just act without thinking and it's like easy, right? Well, in this relationship, it's sort of like the opposite. It's like it makes you more calculated. It makes you, think before you act, which maybe if you're an impulsive person, that can be a very good thing to have a relationship with an aspect where, like this, where both of you, because this is the composite chart, right? So it's the combined energy of both of you kind of slow down a bit and are forced to like rethink your actions. And, you won't be doing too many stupid, impulsive things in this relationship because it just has such a subduing effect on your energy. So, on the negative side, though, it can definitely feel like an energy drain. And like when you are physically together, you can just feel zapped or even like hopeless or even like futile. Like you just can't act on things. You can't be your instinctive self. Now, if it's a sexual relationship with this aspect, you can feel very restricted, like you can't always express that, or if you do express that urge, there's a differences of timing. One of you's in the mood, the other one isn't, or there's differences in expression, like one of you likes it like this and the other one likes it like that, and it's just hard to meet up. Or it could even mean that there's outer situations and circumstances that prevent you guys from getting sexually together for whatever reason. It's just impossible to actually get together in that way. It could show that there's bad sex at times if this is a sexual relationship, but usually, especially with the opposition, it's more like maybe some of the time it's not fulfilling and some of the time it is. And that could be the same with the square too, where it's like sometimes we're really on a same vibe and then another time it's like we just like, why are we even together in this way? It just doesn't even make sense, right? So it's something that you have to work on and work through. This is going to show up in a composite chart of people who are seeking couples therapy or sex therapy or something like that. They need to learn each other more. And It's not that it can't work, it's just that it takes work to make it work. And, people, like I said, with natal Mars Saturn aspects are going to already be comfortable with this energy, and it's not going to be so draining and difficult and awful. But people that are not used to this level of Saturn energy, this relationship can be a huge downer. Oh my goodness, there's two black squirrels just running up the tree out the window. Like, they just like circled around the tree so fast. Oh my goodness. Is that a sign? I don't know, you guys. That might be a sign. Look up black squirrels. What's their meaning? Oh, there's another one there too. Anyways, um, it actually, though, like, if you are a very impulsive person, like I said, being in this relationship where you're constantly thinking, you're constantly rethinking your actions, it can be very helpful for self-discovery and actually becoming a more effective person. But you will feel at times like, once you separate from this person and you separate from their energy, like whether you're just going to work or something and you and your spouse or whatever, you're separating for the day, it's like, oh, now you can be yourself. Now you can go and do your workout. Now you can work on your business. Or it's like there is a distinct feeling of relief when you get away from this energy that, like, okay, now I can do stuff. Like, it's crazy how strong that can feel. But like for a couple, like that can work. If, one of you goes to work or both of you go to work and you get back in your Mars and then you come back together and you just have to work at it. Okay. So the way this aspect can work is time apart, right? Time apart and then learning each other. Okay. Because you're different. You have differing lifestyles. You have differing ways of expressing your energy, and also you have differing goals in life as shown by Saturn. So talking, communicating, not letting it stay inside, this aspect can cause a lot of frustration and inner tension where you're pissed off, you're frustrated, but you don't say anything, right? Because Mars is inhibited. Mars is anger and sex and drive and how we go after what we want. So you're mad about something and you don't say anything, and you don't say anything, and you don't say anything, and you still don't say anything. And then a few months later or a year later, you just explode. And this aspect can show up in abusive relationships, couples that have these nasty fights. They don't happen very often, but when they do happen, it's because of that repression. We've repressed so much. We probably repressed sexual energy too. So if you can allow yourself, as uncomfortable as it is, to express those petty annoyances that seem like not a big deal at the time, but you hold it in. If you could just let yourself express that to your partner, and your sexual feelings, be honest. What are you needing from this relationship? What are you feeling that you're not getting? Let it out, and then you're going to prevent that big eruption later. Okay, and have your time apart as necessary with this aspect. As far as working together in a business sense, if this is a business relationship, it actually can work because you're a lot more thought out and calculated with your actions. So you're not going to be doing risky things with this. Like, you're actually going to be more cautious. You're going to be more checking, like, reading the dotted line or signing on the dotted line, right? You're reading things carefully. So that can actually be really good. You still can have that frustration. You still have to, like, be honest about things and what's really bothering you. And, like, it's still going to have the same tension, but it does seem to work okay in a business relationship. It can also be like, sometimes you have a ton of energy towards working on your business or working on whatever your work project is, and then other times you have none. That's something about this square or this opposition, is that, especially with the opposition, actually, there's a fluctuation where we have so much energy for each other and what we're doing, and then we have none, and then we have so much, and then we have none. And so keeping it consistent is hard, but with time, over time, Saturn gets better with time, right? Saturn is the father of time. It will get easier, and you actually can be very effective with this square or with this opposition. The opposition, more so, you're going to see opposition from the outside world, people hating you as a couple. Sometimes you can see that with the square too, that people actively get in your way or try to thwart whatever you're doing. That can actually be one of the manifestations of the square or opposition, is like maybe you don't feel the tension that much inwardly, but other people sure have a problem with you when you try to combine energies in a Mars way. So you can see that as well. Um, what else? You could also be dealing with like father issues, feelings of authority. Like, yeah, you're healing that fear or anger or mistrust at authority. And at times, sometimes one of you will try to control the other. One of you will try to be like the authority to the other. And then the other one has a choice, like, are you going to take that or are you going to stand up for yourself and be honest and be clear and express yourself and not let them walk all over you? Or you're really strengthening your will in this connection. You're healing those negative beliefs about authority. And that could be another theme. And sexual healing as well can be a theme. You're dealing with those repressions, right? Are you going to let them come to the light and be expressed? And then if you do, you can actually have fulfillment here. It'll take work. It's not an easy one. It gets better with time. Specifically the square, you can feel like you're constantly butting heads, or there's just like it's a major like drain at times when you get together. But when you realize why and how this is happening, like with what I've said, you can heal this and recognize that with these Saturn aspects, you do truly care about each other. You want to work it out. That's the thing with Saturn squares and Saturn oppositions in the composite chart, is you want to work it out. There's a mission together. There's a purpose together. It's just hard to fulfill it because you got to do the work, right? So, this one can really help you be more effective in life. And it's going to be challenging, but it's rewarding. It's very karmic. But if you have this in your composite chart, it's definitely meant to be that you're here to work out some of these karmic issues. So anyways, I'd love to know your experience of this aspect. Was it like this or either of these aspects? Let me know in the comments. Does it resonate? And keep your requests coming, you guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Bye.